So after personally going through over 3,000 presentations with different prospects, different times during the year, different seasons, and different actual mindset, there's only one thing that keeps on coming back. That means there's always a way for me to actually get better, but only if I decide to actually be uncomfortable with myself and tell myself the reality of where did I basically fall short when it comes to my structure. But I can never look into it the right way with certainty unless I'm very actually clear with myself. So what I've been sharing with a lot of the reps is throughout the presentation, you start distinguishing times where you actually are not as strong or not as focused. Nothing is wrong with that. What's wrong is you not even looking for where you actually fall short. Because if I don't know exactly what I'm doing wrong, how can I make it right? So as I go through all these presentations, my first 3 years are not the same as my last 2-3 years, because I was intentional on how do I actually dissect my presentations that I win in and even the ones that I lose at. Matter of fact, I learn more and as I actually lose because I have more ways for me to fix. And when I do win, I go back and like basically fall back on my structure. And even sometimes when we do win a sale and we end up understanding that even though we won it, it was not fully controlled by a structure, even though we lost some of the layers, we can go back to them because we actually know where we at throughout the whole presentation. What do I mean by that? There's always a moment when we know either we won the sale or we lost the sale or we're in the beginning of a loss of a sale. Big difference. The room gets quiet, pressure enters the room, scripts are not working anymore, prospect is not cooperating, they're throwing out things that we never heard before, we're never trained on, and then we lose it. It's not what they told us. It's not how we thought this was gonna go. But guess what? When we point one finger at anything, just remember, we have 3 pointing at us, and that's our biggest control. Because therefore, what changes and what differs an average rep to an elite one is what happens during those moments. And how do I dissect them so I can get better at them while next time when they do present themselves, I'm more equipped. And that's why they say pressure is a privilege. Because when you start understanding pressure as the actual biggest fuel for you to be focused, because if there's no pressure, there's no alert. Our DNA does not survive. So survival mode happens with everything. So when you start understanding that part of the presentation, 2 human beings are going through 2 survival modes. They're trying to survive, you're trying to survive. But if I'm in control and I see that I'm losing the grip on whatever I'm sharing, and I know exactly where I'm at because of training and because of actions that I put in, because of hard work that I put in within myself, not while I'm performing, which is while I'm talking to a tour or an actual prospect, that's full live performance. I'm not gonna be reading my lines. I'm not gonna be looking at that's not what happens. But understanding how to prepare for it, that's what makes you killer closer. So now, the solution is what? Every single tour, every single time I finish with a presentation, I dissect, I inspect what to expect. What do I mean by that? Good and bad. Blank sheet of paper, pros and cons. And then the results. Meaning, the results becomes detached from my emotion. Because the results is not what gets me there. Because I'm gonna do this every day for the next 10, 15 years. So focusing on a foundation on how can I guarantee more of the results consistently is more important how I feel right then, right there about that actual action. And instead of dwelling on it because I have nothing to prepare and I have no clue where can I go back with my structure for me to fix something, I'm basically becoming a brand new architect every single morning when I go to my sales job. So be an amateur and stay where you at. Nothing is wrong with that. But if you want to be obsessed about your actual future and have every single right to excel at it, only one way around it. Inspect what you expect and be truthful to yourself. You want to go to the top.